see? Can't you see what that woman, she's been doing to me? Hey cats, what's happening? Come on in. As you can see, I've been putting a little polish on the bike. The weather has been suitable for riding and I have had the bike out. But I put it back up on the lift because I wanted to do some detail on it. When you ride it all summer long and you're just washing it once in a while and maybe squirting a little polish on it, it doesn't really do the trick. So sometimes you just got to buckle down and put the detail on it. So I've used some polish. Now you could see little tiny hair abrasions on there just from washing it, when there's dirt and dust on there and you wipe a cloth over it, it's going to leave some abrasion on your paint job. So what I've been using to start with is this stuff, Kit Scratch Out. Now this is old. I don't even know that they make this anymore. And I did look at some of the other stuff they have on the shelf. They got a bunch of different options for taking out scratches. Some of them are the poly coatings and whatever, but they can be super expensive too. And really they do the same thing. So I've done this side of the tank and it turned out real well. It took care of a lot of the little hairline scratches on there. I worked on this fender a little bit because I had my saddlebag over there, just worn that paint. There really isn't, no matter what you put on there, something gouged this up. Probably when I was touring, probably one of my bags or straps or something sharp there chipped the paint away in that area. So you'll get that. But I still want to polish up this back fender a little more. And then I got to do this side of the tank, which you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's some scratches in that'll probably going to rub out, just those little hairline type scratches. So I use that scratch off on it. For my chrome, I've been using this Never Dull. Oh! And it goes on the floor. It's what I didn't want, because then that's going to pick up grit off the floor. But you see this can's almost empty anyways of this wadding. And I use this on all the chrome. So you just pull off a piece of wadding like that. And then I could take it and I could just, work it into that chrome. Work it down. I do the... It takes a little bit of elbow grease when you're polishing these things up, but it's worth it in the long run. And then I'll take a clean rag and just go over that real good and buff that up. And look at the shine on that. Look at the shine on that. Now the chrome has some scratches and scrapes in it. I have a dent back here where I dropped it one time. A little stone or something put a dent in there. And then there's little scrapes and scratches, which this is not going to take out. It's scratched right there, obviously, where my heel sits. I don't know if there's something that you could use to take scratches out of chrome or not. If so, I would appreciate your input on that, because it would be nice to get those scratches out of the chrome. I don't know if a polish, would work on that, or it would just make it worse. But yeah, I'm open to some feedback on that too. Now in the meantime, I went ahead and ordered a new can of Never Dull. It's a different color. The other can, this is kind of like blue, navy blue. It says original formula. But my other can, let me get the other can over here. It confused me when I went to the store, because here's the can that I had, and it says on there original Never Dull Eagle 1, and this one just says Eagle 1 Never Dull. Over here it says original formula. So I'm guessing it's the same stuff, but when I open the can, there's a difference. This is yellow and this is white. So I'm not sure why that is. Like, is this an old recipe, or is this just aged and turned yellow? Because I've had this can for a long time, and this is the new stuff. I don't know. But I'll find out here in a little bit. Look at this Brasso. It says it cleans and polishes chrome, and I haven't tried it yet. But I might see how that works. This is an old, I've had this for a long time. I don't even know if there's any liquid in there. It might be dried out. I'll have to see. And I might try that on the exhaust pipe and see if it helps any. But yeah, it takes a lot of elbow grease. Now, I like to do this in the spring. After I did my maintenance, changed out the starter clutch. Now that works. It starts right up every time. No problem. Change the oils. So everything's good to go there. I still need to check the air in the tires, which I haven't done. I like to do that at least a couple times during the riding season, but definitely in the spring when it's sat all winter. So yeah, I'm going to check the air in the tires. And I actually put over here where all my tire or my pneumatic tools are. I got a little tin here, and I keep all my tools in here. But I put my tire pressure for the Harley, so I know my front tire's 38, my rear is supposed to be 44. So I like to keep that. There's a reminder, because I never remember, and the older I get, the worse I get at remembering stuff. My riding gloves on the floor there. Hit some wax on the seat. When I'm all done, I'm going to go over it with that turtle wax, that poly coating that I bought, similar to the F11. I'm not buying the F11 again. It was just way too expensive. So I'm going to put that poly coat over everything once I get everything polished up with the scratch out stuff. But I'm liking the way it's looking so far. I mean, the chrome's really sparkling, and she'll be looking good when I take her out on the road. The other thing I still have to do yet, though, is to get my saddlebags here. And I'm going to clean those all up and maybe put some shoe polish on them, some black shoe polish, and get them cleaned up. These are supposedly leather, and I can't be 100% sure on that. They're very stiff. They're waterproof. They've done me very well over the years. These straps are definitely leather. There's no doubt about that. The rest of it, though, is very hard. This is definitely leather. I made this saddle strap for it and riveted it on there. And then I have rubber protectors under there, so it won't, the rivets won't scratch the paint at all. The rivets are just seen here on the outside. But anyway, I'm going to clean all those up and get those polished up and cleaned up, looking like new. So that's another job I want to do here that I might get to today. Everything takes a little bit of work. There are some things that need touched up, like where my saddlebags rubbed here, it's rubbed the paint away. I've got some enamel paint I'm going to put on there, clean that up, give it a little sandpaper, and then put some enamel paint on that. And then I think over on this side I had the same thing, so I need to clean that up and get that painted as well. Other than that, the bike's looking in pretty good shape. Um, the weather yesterday was cold and rainy all day. I mean, it really came down all afternoon. So I came out in the morning. I saw the radar. I saw the green bands of rain coming this way. They always come from the west there. And so I came out and I got my outdoor work done right away. And then by noon it was pouring down rain, and it rained most of the afternoon. I wanted to work out here in the garage, but it was cold. It was like 40 degrees outside, and it was about the same temperature out here in the garage, so it was kind of cold to sit on a bucket and polish. I actually attempted it for a little while, and then I said, you know what, it's too cold out here. I'm not going to sit here and freeze my butt off, because today it's going to be 70. And the weather's already affecting me. I get these headaches, you know, from the barometric pressure change. The other thing, like this morning, I had one of these ocular migraines, and I don't know if you ever had that, where it starts out with like a little fuzzy dot in the middle of your vision, and it continues to like grow, and it looks like colored zigzaggy things, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. It takes about 20 minutes or so for it to go away, sometimes a half hour. But it kind of impedes your vision a little bit, where you can't see real good. But that's gone for now, and I can see right now, so that's a good thing. But yesterday, the day before, I made a trip down to Rural King, one of my favorite stores, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff. But I bought these little pines. These are little white pines. I bought 3 of those. And I bought 1 Austrian pine that I already planted over there. And then I bought this Kwanzaa cherry, which is a flowering cherry. And the pear tree was here, though. And the pear tree was already, you know, probably about a 9-inch girth on the thing, diameter. And so I cut it high. I chainsawed it off, you know, about 4 foot high. And then I hooked a chain up to it with my truck, and I yanked it out that way. It didn't want to budge. It stopped that truck cold. I had the truck in 4-wheel drive low, and you know, I mean, you could see the back wheel came right here. Bam, and just spun a hole in the ground, and the front wheel came here, bam, and spun a hole in the ground, and then it tore up my driveway too, where all 4 wheels were spinning, and that stump was not going anywhere. So I had to go out in the shed and get my shovel and my axe, and I started digging all around the stump, and I found roots that were like that big, so I chopped those with the axe. I probably chopped a half a dozen roots that were, you know, 3.5 inches in diameter. And then I'd go and I'd get the truck and I'd yank, and it would still stop the truck cold. And I'd come back and I'd dig and I'd find some more roots and I'd chop. And finally it started to come loose, and so I just kept on working it, and then I yanked the whole thing out. But when it came out, there was roots extending out this way, and it ripped up the lawn clear out into there when I pulled it out. So here's the stump. You can see how big it is. It was no simple chore getting that thing out of the ground, but you could see all the roots that I had to chop to get that thing to come loose. And those roots, they probably would extend out 4 foot in every direction. So I mean, that thing was anchored to the ground. I got it back here with the new tractor. I hooked a tow chain up to it and dragged it from up there all the way back. And you can see where I dragged it, it kind of tore up my yard a little bit, and left a trail going all the way up, but it'll heal itself in. I'm not worried about that. Doggone, these skunks are already starting to dig up my grass. They're tearing up my yard over here too again. I need to come out here with night vision on my 22 and pick them off. I don't know if it's skunks or raccoons that are doing that, but boy, that irritates me. Last year they tore this whole area of my yard. There must have been a lot of grubs in there, because they just had that whole area tilled up, just tore up. So anyway, yeah, that's what I did yesterday, and that tree really beat me down. That I was worn out. I mean, I worked myself to the bone, and then but got the new one in, put it right in the hole where the old one was, and it's already got some little green buds sprouting out on it, so I'm happy to see that. Now today I still have these three little pines to plant. Rural King. They were $14.99 a piece, and you really can't beat that for the price for a pine tree. All the pine trees that I have here, except for those big ones up there, all of the new ones that I have came from Rural King, and every one of them has lived. I've never had one fail on me. I see the iris are coming alive here. I burned this off early this spring, and I hope I didn't kill my lavender bush there, but it doesn't look very healthy. I've been waiting over here to see if my asparagus will come up, but so far I don't see anything there that looks like asparagus, so I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen. But the rest of the garden is pretty well ready to go. I'm just going to have to go to the nursery later in May and plant my zinnias in here, and yeah, it'll be beautiful again for the summer. My brother's having his daughter's getting married at the end of May, and so the wedding's going to be here in the Akron area, Stowe. And my brother's and his girlfriend are flying in from California, from Lone Pine, California, and they're going to stay with me here for that weekend, I guess for 3 or 4 days. So that'll be something to look forward to. Well, I'm going to head back into the shop here and get back at my polishing job. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I hope you're having some good riding days coming up here pretty soon. Until next time, cats, I'll catch you all later. Can't you see? Oh, can't you see what that woman meant to me? Gonna take a freight train down the station.